Hey Pisceans, how y'all doing? Welcome. We are going to be taking a look at your upcoming Imbolc season, which is the beginning of February to Ostara at the spring equinox. So a bit about your meditation before we move on into these cards we have here. So your meditation was very interesting. I saw what is it called? So you know the Addams family, is it called hand or is it, so you know that hand from the Addams family, the disembodied hand that's a member of the family, right? And it is it called, it's not cousin it, but anyway, please let me know in the comments. It's gonna drive me nuts. Anyway, the hand from Addams family, I saw it, and then I saw like Wednesday Addams and Morticia, the Addams family come forward. And I saw it as relating to you, Pisces, as, you know, let's talk about the shadow and your shadow aspects. It's interesting. This has been coming up a lot within the collective. But I feel also for you, the shadow aspect of self, the celebration of your shadow aspects. Maybe some shadow aspects, you know, our shadows aren't just the parts of us that, you know, we relegated to the shadows of our unconscious because we didn't like them. They're also the best parts of us as well that couldn't find expression or acceptance in our formative years. So there is an aspect of this when we think about the Addams family. They are the shadow personified, and it's brilliant because they're written and brought to life in a way where they can be celebrated and accepted. I'm thinking about that image of Morticia Addams getting the bouquet of roses and cutting off the head of the rose and just having the stem and the thorns, right? So it's about, okay, how does our shadow express itself, but in an empowered, you know, fully realized way, right? The parts of ourselves that we deny, that are taboo. I really feel like that's coming up for you during this time, Pisces. It's an interesting one because I feel like there are aspects of you, the best parts of you, that are still within your shadow. And it's like Carl Jung said, what we are not aware of ultimately has control over us. And you're being asked to go into that bag of shadows of yours and retrieve the best bits. Ultimately, you retrieve all of them over time and you integrate, yada, yada. But this feels like it's about the best bits of you. You know what's interesting is that a lot of us, I think a lot of people culturally, will put their intuition into their bag of shadows, right? Especially if your intuition was not accepted in your formative years, if you got the message that it was wrong, if you grew up in a really, you know, religious, place or situation, you know, all different kinds of things where messages we can get around our intuition, how it's quote wrong or bad or evil or whatever it is. We could put our intuition into our bag of shadows and we spend the rest of our lives, you know, working on retrieving it and reconnecting with it once we realize like, oh, okay, it's not really evil. It's actually a part of me. It's my birthright that I was born with, and it's not evil at all, right? So I feel like there's stuff around that coming up for you. Now, your overall energy is the fish, which is beautiful because it speaks of fertility and good fortune, but it's also with the moon here. It's Pisces energy, right? You guys are the fish. It's really stunning that you're coming up in your own reading in this way because we're talking about, you know, the most fully embodied parts of yourself that we're asking to bring into the forefront, right? You know, your Imbolc oracle is forged in fire. And it says number 21, your strength was crafted through adversity. Your strength was crafted through adversity. A mastery only you behold. Your strength was crafted through adversity. A mastery only you behold. This is stunning. This is really speaking of what makes you you. And see how she's coming from underneath the earth, right? To light that fire that's Bridget there. And we have the moth here as well. You know, moth medicine is face your shadows and transform. It's also about being a magnet, attracting your tribe, attracting people, places, and things that are, you know, an energetic match to you. I really feel like this is a time where you're really being called to go there. Go there. The parts of you that maybe you were, you know, afraid to really look at, or parts of you that have maybe, you know, not had a place in your life in recent past, you're being called to go there and extract them. It feels a bit taboo. It feels a bit scandalous, but it's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It's seeing an image of someone having like a midlife, it's a silly term. I don't really like the term, but for sake of context, someone having like a midlife crisis, right? I feel like that is when the shadow comes out of the bag, takes you by the shoulders, and gives you a good shake. And suddenly you're like, oh my gosh, I don't think I've been living authentically. Let me go try and find material things and shake up my circumstance in order to feel more like myself. Right? So it's interesting how this is coming across, Pisces, especially not to say you're having a midlife crisis, but I feel like there's an aspect of you can access the information that is a midlife crisis within your own magic brew of your cauldron of your life right now and bring out those parts of you that haven't found full expression because they want to come forward and align you to bigger and better things. Okay? But it will require that you allow yourself to be seen and authentically you, which you can do, right? So in your place of challenge, you have the 10 of Wands. Now, this is interesting because remember, the Wands relate to the soul. And the wands are about the actions that we do or do not take around what we really care about, around the work that we love, around our soul purpose, right? Now, this is about an extreme amount of exertion and effort. This is also my key. 10 of Wands comes up when someone is moving locations, moving home, going from one place to another, but it is the closing out of one cycle. So the fact this is coming up in your place of challenges with the snail here, and it's the stormy skies, I feel like, there might be some challenges around tying up loose ends or adjusting to a certain transition or adapting to a new environment or a way of being or a new place or a new way of feeling. But there is some struggle around certain cycles coming to an end and maybe even feeling some fatigue or some, struggle around getting the energy that you need or desire to really grab onto that Ace of Wands, which is the reward for getting through the 10 of Wands and moving forward with renewed vigor and energy. Now, in your place of victories, I love this for you because you have the devil here, Capricorn energy. But why I'm obsessed with this is the devil represents the shadow. So this does feel like this is saying that this poor little bunny here, represents fear. So this does feel like you are breaking your own chains that, you've confined yourself with, or that you're, the historically your culture or your community or your parents or your peer group or whatever else you yourself have confined yourself with and going, I'm free now. You're finding your own freedom and really looking at your fear in the face and going, you know what? I think that the best parts of me want to come forward and they might just look like Wednesday Addams, and I can rock with that. They might just look like this. They might just look like this. And I feel like this is, could be very helpful for you as well, is considering what might your shadow animal be? What might the shadow aspect of you look and feel like? If you were to do the exact opposite of everything that you were taught was right or okay or acceptable, what would you look like? How would you move in the world? How close or far are you from your true archetype? Not the one that you adapted to because you needed to survive and go along, to get along and find acceptance, right? Something in that for you. But this is fear as well. And this is old patterns and behaviors. The fact that you're finding victory in the devil energy is a really beautiful thing because it means that you're finding freedom within the things that have previously restricted you and kept you small. Right? It's stunning. So your advice here is a 2-for-1, which is the 8 of Cups and the Ace of Swords. So you have another fish here. It's beautiful with the full moon here as well. Pisces energy, stunning, moon and moon. So the 8 of Cups is really allowing yourself to emotionally cleanse from what doesn't feel good. That's what it is, right? There's also an aspect of that with 10 of Wands as well with the rain. But, I love that this is coming up as a salmon, because this is also medicine and energy around connected to this fish here about allowing what is yours to find you, right? And in order for what is yours and also the tribe that is yours, the person, the people, places, things, opportunities that are yours, it's about you being the most authentic you that is available. So this is a path towards authenticity so that you can attract your tribe and your opportunities that are yours, right? Ace of Swords. This is stunning as well because this speaks of truth. It speaks of a new start around a new truth or communication, writing, offers as well, contracts, potentials. But there's also an aspect of this with Ace of Swords with the Panda medicine that says, I can find inner peace by being with myself, and clarity comes from stillness. Clarity comes from stillness. So there's this beautiful aspect here with that black and white and the shadow and the yin and yang too that we're looking at, that I'm really hearing do allow yourself to do. It sounds silly, but it's like I'm hearing allow yourself to do the taboo thing. Allow yourself to do what isn't to be done, right? So if you're used to moving at a certain pace and doing the most and going after it and getting it, allow yourself, but there's a part of you that goes, oh, I wish I could just do less. I wish I could just, but that would be lazy. That would be wrong. Whatever that is for you, allow yourself to just try that out and see what that feels like. Because I do feel like there are parts of you that are calling to you that are rooted in your authentic self, in your bag of shadows that are coming forward for you at this time to help realign you to where a place that is a lot more uniquely you from a soul perspective as opposed to an egoic one, right? It does feel like you're being rerouted. It really does, but in a wonderful way. There's no tower here, right? It's a little bit more gentle than that. So your outcome is the Four of Pentacles, which is Four of Cups. Now, this is really interesting because Four of Cups isn't moving forward. It isn't moving backwards. It's about understanding that when you stay where you are, right? When things appear not to be moving one way or the other, you are planting seeds and allowing the time to nurture them and watch them grow, right? Take your time getting to where you're going. You know, the boat has not shown up yet. What is that? Not sure what that is. Some kind of like crazy horsefish or something. But anyway, the boat has not showed up yet, right? So it's just about being confident in where you are and trusting that when things don't appear to be moving in your physical circumstances, that's a really good opportunity for you to look within yourself and look at your internal body, your internal landscape, and know that when the time is right, things are going to move forward and that right now you can spring clean your shadow, you can spring clean your internal mind and soul and body, right? But I do feel like there's a level of fatigue here or a level of world weariness or a level of maybe some ambiguity in terms of what the next year will hold or a certain dissatisfaction. But listen, this is a temporary state. I can feel it very strongly. It's a temporary state. Things are going to move forward again and very soon. So just refer to your advice here. Less time with emotionally draining people, places, and things, more time with yourself, whatever promotes inner clarity and allowing yourself to reconnect with all parts of you without judgment or fear or time constriction. That's the one. I'm also hearing with Ace of Swords, journaling, writing, even if it's like writing poems, whatever it is highly medicinal and could lead to something quite lucky. I'm hearing it's a little bit mysterious, but I feel like there's a lot of good in that. So I see someone like writing something and it something coming from it. Really beautiful. So with that being said, Pisceans, I so hope that this helps and resonates. If so, please let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. I've missed you. I'm so happy to be back. I did just post the 2024 year ahead vids. So if you haven't yet watched them, give those a gander. And yeah, just thank you so much again for being here. And most of all, and as always, just thank you for being you and be well. Until next time.